So, how did you get involved in the Cherry Grove Archives, Paul?
Well, there was a chap out here thinking about people that I'd like to have for dinner. One, Harold Seeley, and he was pretty much of a one-man show with the Arts Project and Archives. A lot of his knowledge was in his head, and he would remember and love to recount stories. And he was the one that was, well, to a certain extent, trash picker, and to a certain extent, a go-to person with memorabilia and archives. And as he was going on, I befriended him because I was always interested in archival material here in Cherry Grove. As a matter of fact, when Esther Newton was first writing her book, I introduced her to a lot of the old-timers whom she later interviewed and included in her book. Well, Harold also, he and I would just talk, and it was just an amateur kind of like shoot from the hip relationship that he and I had. When he later passed on, he basically left his legacy to the community and with three people kind of in charge. And one is Michael Coffendaffer, who certainly has a lot of expertise in archival material and a lot of organizational skills. He also left it to John Burke, who had archival experience with one of the major clothing manufacturers, Tommy Hilfiger, and he ran the archival museum for Hilfiger. And the other was the amateur myself, who had spoken, even when I first came to Cherry Grove, I had spoken to a lot of the old-timers that were still here. I mentioned Stephen Cole, and when what's her name? The name of the book. When Esther Newton expressed an interest of writing the book and writing the history, I was only so happy to introduce her to a lot of the old-timers that were out here. She later networked and met many more. I think as I got older, then I became one of the persons that people turned to. I recognized the value of old photographic albums and what have you, and said, please don't throw these out. I had heard of many instances where someone would buy a house, find these old photo albums, naturally they wouldn't mean anything to them, and throw them out. And I just didn't want to see that wealth of history lost. Yeah. So as a result, when I found out that somebody was moving, I would ask for archival material. Fortunately now, it's not just in the memory of one person, Harold Seeley, but it is now in the function of a committee. We are trying to get all archival material related to Cherry Grove, both photographic, physical, old programs, old signs and advertisements, as well as I say, physical evidence, and we're trying to, one, secure it in a in a temperature-controlled environment, B, digitalize it and share it basically with the world. You know, Cherry Grove is an important community to the gay and lesbian community. It's been recognized by the federal government, and we would like to share that wealth of information. Also, we would like to be a repository for that information. Somebody might have a photographic album at home that might be of value to Cherry Grove. This is not necessarily asking for that to be donated, but even if we can photograph it, digitalize it to have record, that's the important thing, is that these records should not be lost.